Well, welcome to the Denver Home Show with Nick May. I'm your host, Nick May, and I'm also the owner of Walls by Design. But you probably already knew that because you're here on my channel. And I wanted to introduce this brand new show. I'm just launching this. We're going to keep the same YouTube channel that we've always had, just for simplicity reasons. But I wanted to introduce what I'm going to be doing, how regularly I'm going to be doing it, and what you can expect on the show. First up, what you can expect. So this show is going to be all about really anything in the home. What could you be updating? What kind of projects will you be doing? And I will cover inside and outside, and I will be interviewing some different vendors and some resources around Denver. I have lots of contacts that I've gotten to know over the years. So I have lots of great people to bring on in the past. I've done this sporadically. I've interviewed interior designers, flooring people, and I'm just super excited to be able to bring my contacts to our customers and to those of you here in Denver. So sorry if you found me and you live in Seattle or Chicago. We don't know anybody there. This show is specifically for homeowners in Denver, and that's why it's called the Denver Home Show with Nick May. So, but what you can expect, every episode of this is I'm going to bring you a tip on hiring a contractor. What are things that you need to ask or look for, or what are red flags? I'm going to be bringing you a trend. What is something that's trending right now that I am seeing in homes? I am literally in probably on average, I don't know, somewhere between 40 and 60 homes every month. So I see a lot of things, and definitely been able to spot the trends all throughout the years, in the 24 years that I've run Walls by Design. And I'm also going to be bringing you resources. So I will be bringing on different folks that we recommend, different resources for really anything in the house. So sometimes I will be just interviewing them on, over a Zoom call, and other times I will actually go out and do interviews in stores, in showrooms. So you know why you should be going to see them. And the reason why I want to bring you these kinds of things on YouTube is that I know my customers are constantly struggling with who do we go to, who can I trust, and I've been in the industry for a very long time. Not only do I have lots of great contacts, but I also know how to spot, how to really interview, if you will, different people to know. Even if I don't have a resource, I can pretty easily tell if I'm going to have a good result with a contractor or not. The other thing that I want to bring you consistently is updates that I see in the market. I was watching a YouTube video just the other day about real estate, and everyone's talking about how bad it is and it's going to get worse. But in this video, and I will put a link down below so that you can go check it out for yourself, there's one company that tracks all this stuff, and it's kind of the industry leader. But the problem with it is that it's 2 to 3 months behind just because of the reporting. And what he did was he actually went to Redfin, and Redfin is more kind of what's happening right now. And he's really been watching for the last 2 months that the market is ticking up. So we started to go down, and now we started to tick up. And the day before actually seeing this video, I'd actually noticed that about my own house on Zillow, that Zillow was reporting that my house had gone up in the last 30 days by $5,000. So I have to constantly be watching this. We are tied to the real estate market, right? If real estate is not doing great, then that has bad implications for my painting company, right? So the good news right now, good news, bad news, I guess, is that we are seeing here in Denver, in a lot of neighborhoods, we are starting to see that price go up. And that goes back to high school economics, people, supply and demand. So all of us who have like really low interest rates, 2 and 3%, we're not going to move. We don't want to get rid of our house. So a lot of people don't want to sell right now. But you still have people that are coming into the market. They're moving to Denver. You have millennials that are getting into the market. And they want to buy their first house. And so there's not a lot of things that are on the market. So when there's a very short supply, that is going to do one thing. It's going to tick up the price. So if you are getting ready to or contemplating a move this summer, it's a really great time. But now is a great time to be getting ready for that. So one of the resources that I hope to have on the show is to periodically bring in a real estate agent. And I'll do probably different real estate agents, but bring on different real estate agents so they can talk firsthand. I'm not a real estate agent, and I never will be a real estate agent. I will say that I was a real estate agent when I had my licenses. Actually, while I was still in college, I got my real estate license in South Carolina. So for a year, I was a licensed real estate agent. Never sold a piece of property, but I will say I was a real estate agent for a very short period of time. So periodically I will plan to bring on a real estate agent. So today's tip, if you are hiring anybody, and this is going to be news for really a lot of you, but I think looking at Google reviews online is super important. And there's a couple of things I think you need to do is when you're looking, like if you are one person that really wants to have that great experience, then Google reviews will definitely tell the story. Now, when you go to look at the Google reviews, you really have to look at how many they have, but then not only do you want to look at how many they have, but you also want to look at what's the quality of these Google reviews. You can, if you go to Google and you search for a company will come up and you can go see their page and you can see their Google reviews. So then you go down to those Google reviews and you read them. What are they talking about? A lot of times when I'm seeing people that get reviews, it's like, oh, John was great. Wonderful. Like, did he just like twist your arm to write that review? So it's not just reading the review, but read what do they say about him? What kind of projects did they do? What do they talk about? For example, we just got a really great Google review in, and it literally listed everybody in the company that they dealt with, from Jackie, Rachel on the sales side, the Jackie who did the color console, Heather in the office, Dustin on project management, and I think it was Garvin who was their painter. So really talked about how the whole entire process was wonderful. So if you're looking for, let's say you need to get garage service, right? You have to get a new spring. I think that's what wears out on those things all the time. Go look at the Google reviews of the different garage companies and see what do they say. What are they talking about? The value so at low cost. Are they talking about they gave you a lot of options? It was really easy to book and schedule. They were fast. And almost every company is going to have some bad reviews. So just because a company has one or two bad reviews doesn't mean that they're a bad company. It just means that somebody didn't like something. We have Google reviews from people that we've never even done business with. They said they couldn't get us on the phone, or I don't know. It's just crazy. I wish that Google would filter through those, but just know that if you have enough customers, you're gonna get some crazy people. It just happens. Even we have some bad Google reviews in there. But so that's a tip. So it's interviewing, but Google's a great way. Every time I shop on Amazon, that's the litmus test I use, or that's how I decide if it's going to be a good product or not. I really don't hardly ever look at products that only have a couple of reviews. I look for the ones that have the most reviews in whatever category I'm looking at. So trends. So today's trend right now in flooring, I just picked this up because I was thinking about it because I've been in several houses this week and I felt like every single house I went into had this product in their house, and that's LVT. And if you don't know what LVT flooring is, it's luxury vinyl tile. We just bought some and put some in a cabin that we own, and I absolutely love it. You can get them, there's lots of different qualities on this flooring. I highly recommend you not go with the bottom of the barrel and the pricing. That should go without saying. You get what you pay for, but do your research. There's a lot of different products. There's products that look very realistic, and different products will last longer or shorter. But that's a trend that I'm seeing everywhere. I'm seeing it in high dollar houses, and I'm seeing it in the lower dollar houses as well. I'm seeing it in condos. I'm seeing it in just about everywhere I go. But that is definitely a trend, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere because it's such a durable product, or at least they can be. Just like everything, there are different quality levels on them. But I actually used to do some work with a company called Porcelanosa on a podcast that I used to produce, and they developed a product for the hotel industry, and they have been putting in a lot of hotels. In fact, they were spec'd for the Virgin Hotels in Chicago and got a huge award for it. And they're putting it in hotels because hotels have a big problem with sound, and they have problems with smells, and so they're trying to pull carpets out of hotels, but what that gets created is a sound problem. And so a lot of these products you can have like sound dampening on the product. So it typically is done with some kind of padding on the underside of the flooring. So there's lots of options. I would say you could spend hours and hours Googling it and researching what's the best kind of LVT flooring for you, whether you put it in just in your basement or you're going to replace everything on your main floor. I think it's a great solution if you're going to turn a house into a rental property. We have rental property, and I've thought about that. The problem I have is I already have hardwoods on one of the levels of the house, and I'm thinking, do I want two different kinds of flooring that look like tile or look like hardwood? Sorry. So anyways, but it's definitely a trend that I don't think is going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think we're going to see that for a very long time because it's very popular, and there's a lot of good reasons why it is popular. The last thing I want to talk about today is resources. So I go to a lot of houses, and a lot of you have really great interiors. You like to do decor. You have that design eye. But one of the resources that I thought I would share today is, a lot of people don't know this, but Guiry's paint store has some really great decor options and a lot of things that you could go for the house. I don't necessarily think you would go and furnish your house. Now, I think you can, like they sell furniture, but you can go get accent pieces, you can go get art, you can go get clocks. My mother-in-law, which this is why I thought of it to talk about them, is my mother-in-law did not know that they had decor, and she was in there looking at paint colors, and I think she picked up a desk or a credenza or something at Guiry's, and just absolutely just raved about it and just loved it. And so there's a lot of different decor that you can look at Guiry's, and it seems like every store has different stuff. So you can go to probably 3 different Guiry's locations and see completely different decor from one store to another. So that's today's show. Thanks a ton for joining me. This is episode number 1, and we will be putting these up, and hopefully you will subscribe and hit the bell button. I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube channel thing, but if you subscribe and then also hit the bell, then it will give you notifications when we have future videos that come up. And in my feed, you will not only see the Denver Home Show with Nick May, but you will see other videos that pop up from time to time. Like I just uploaded a video on how to request your free yearly touch-ups from Walls by Design. If you're one of, you have to be a customer though. We don't just come and do free touch-ups, but we do offer free touch-ups for almost all of our customers. And so I just uploaded a video on that. I have one video that's actually been watched like over 200,000 times. I did it several years ago. It was comparing different paints. So if you want to geek out with paint videos, I have some of those. But I will be putting titles, and I will always put the Denver Home Show with Nick May and what episode it is in the title, so you know that it is one of these episodes. And I hope you come back. I'd love to hear feedback. What would you like to see me cover in any of these topics? Who would you like to have me have on the show? But it's gonna be super fun. I'm excited to see who I can get on the show that's here local in Denver. And maybe, if you're lucky, I could get some of my super fancy, famous interior designers that I know from around the country. Because I used to do a podcast called The Shays Lounge. Some people know that, many people do not, but I used to interview designers from all over the world and talk about the business of interior design. So if you have somebody you'd love to see me interview, feel free to put comments down below, and I will try to answer any questions, and I will try to follow up on any suggestions that you guys have. So thanks a ton for joining me today. I'm Nick May, and I don't have a good fancy sign-off thing yet, but maybe that'll come with time. Thanks for joining me. See ya.